Mabuhay! I'm Malaya, your eyes and ears here in the Philippines. Today, I'm going to stop being polite and start being your best friend by telling you the truth that hurts. If you are a man over 60 looking for a real connection in my country, you are likely making a massive mistake that is quietly draining your dignity and your retirement fund. You think your bank balance is your ticket to a woman's absolute trust? Stop right there. In the Philippines, a fat wallet doesn't buy trust. It buys a very expensive, very convincing performance. You aren't winning her heart. You're just renting her smile until the next family emergency comes knocking. If you want a Filipina to actually trust you, to look at you and see a man she respects, not just a walking ATM, you must stop acting like a tourist and start being what we call a pillar. Most of you are playing this game with the wrong map, and that's why you keep getting washed by the local currents. I'm about to reveal the one psychological cheat code that makes us drop our guard instantly. It is a secret that has absolutely nothing to do with how many zeros are in your bank account. If you want to stop being just the provider and finally become the man she truly fears losing, listen closely. Your future happiness and the safety of your legacy depend on you staying until the final word of this video. You've seen the postcards, haven't you? The swaying palms, the white sand, and the traditional Filipina girl with a shy smile who only wants to love you for who you are. That's the fantasy we sell you at the airport. But I'm turning off the projector now. Behind that beautiful curtain is a backstage reality that would make your blood run cold. In the shadows of those sweet good morning texts, there are often entire family committees deciding how much of your pension can be diverted to a cousin's tuition or a neighbor's medical bill. Those dating apps you spend hours on, half the time, you aren't talking to a girl. You're talking to a desperate family's business plan. It's a highly coordinated performance, a cultural dance designed to keep the financial aid flowing while you think you're building a future. But listen to me carefully. It is not your fault. I see the look in your eyes. You aren't some naive kid. You're a man who has spent a lifetime building a legacy, only to find yourself in a modern world that tries to make you feel obsolete. You come from a culture where a man's word is his bond, and where commitment isn't a negotiation tactic. You fell for the dream because you are a man of honor, and you expected that same honor in return. I know the exhaustion of being lonely in a house you worked so hard to pay for. I know the sting of being judged by your own society back home because of the gray in your hair. You aren't a sucker for wanting to be respected and loved. You've just been navigating a minefield without a map. You've been treated like a tourist because you've been using a tourist's heart in a professional's world. But today, the games end. You have someone on the inside now, and I'm going to make sure no one ever makes a fool of you again. No more looking for a prince in a place that only wants a provider. I'm going to give you the real rules of the soil. To understand why you are struggling to find true loyalty, you need to understand how we build houses here in the Philippines. We have a sacred term for the father of the family, haligi ng tahanan. It literally means the pillar of the home. Think about a traditional house standing on stilts in the middle of a tropical monsoon. The wind is howling, the rain is horizontal, and the mud is rising. In that chaos, the family isn't looking for a fancy decoration or a temporary fix. They are clinging to the haligi, the heavy, unmoving timber that is sunk deep into the earth. That pillar doesn't complain about the weight of the roof. It doesn't move when the ground gets shaky, and most importantly, it was there long before the storm started. Now, compare that to how most Western men arrive here. You show up acting like a beach umbrella. You are bright, you are colorful, and you provide a little bit of shade and financial comfort while the sun is shining. But the moment a real cultural breeze blows or a family emergency rainstorm hits, that umbrella starts shaking, folding, or flying away. An umbrella is a temporary luxury. A pillar is a permanent necessity. If you act like an umbrella, only showing up with your resources to solve a crisis after it starts, she will treat you like one. She will use you while it's raining and put you in the corner when the sun comes out. To gain absolute trust, you have to stop being the guy who helps out and start being the structure she leans on before she even knows she's tired. You must become the haligi. A pillar doesn't beg for respect. The house simply cannot exist without it. I'm going to show you how to sink your foundation so deep into her life that the thought of losing you feels like her whole world collapsing. It's time to stop providing cover and start providing structure. Let's look at the first way you've been playing the umbrella when you should have been the wood. Now that we've cleared the air about the umbrella mentality, it's time to get into the actual gears of the machine. If you want to stop being a guest and start being the master of your own house here, you need to understand the hidden rules of the soil. We Filipinas are masters of emotional chess, and if you aren't playing the same game, you've already lost. Let's start with the first way we test the structural integrity of your pillar. Point number 1 is what I call the small crisis test. Very early in the relationship, usually right after you've shared your first few rounds of spicy sauce, and you're feeling that post-intimacy glow, she will drop a leak. It's never a catastrophe. It's a leaky roof, a niece with a sudden fever, or a brother who lost his job at the pier. The direct fact is this: she is checking your reaction time. But here is the hidden truth you won't hear elsewhere. She isn't just looking for the money. She is testing to see if you react with emotion or with leadership. In our culture, a man who just throws cash at a problem without asking questions is seen as a soft target. We think, if he's this easy to pluck for a minor fever, imagine what he'll give when I cry about a mortgage. You might recognize this immediately. Maybe she told you her phone screen cracked and waited for you to offer a replacement. Instead of opening your wallet, here is your tactical instruction. Offer a logistical solution first. Ask, what did the doctor say exactly? Or, where is the repair shop located? When you focus on the facts and the local dynamics instead of the financial aid, you signal that you are a man who investigates before he invests. You become the pillar that supports the roof rather than the ATM that just pays for the repairs. This creates a psychological shift where she realizes she can't just push a button to get a payout. This leads us to the second point, which is the most difficult for Western men to swallow: the power of no, or what I call the respect paradox. The fact is, a man who says yes to every request is actually seen as weak, or what we call under desaya, literally under the skirt. The hidden reason behind this is survival. We live in a society with wolves, distant relatives, opportunistic neighbors, and local scammers. If a woman sees that she can manipulate you easily with a pouty lip, she realizes you cannot protect her from the real predators in her own community. If you can't say no to her, how can you say no to the cousin who wants to borrow your motorcycle forever? You've probably experienced this when you felt pressured to buy a round of drinks for her entire extended family at a fiesta. Your instruction is to set a firm boundary early on something small. If she asks for an expensive dinner when you planned a quiet night, say, "No, we are staying in tonight," with a calm, unblinking gaze. Don't apologize. When your no is solid, your yes becomes a rare and valuable currency. She will stop testing your boundaries and start respecting your personal standards. She needs to know that the mango isn't free just because she's pretty. Speaking of things that aren't free, I need to take a quick second to tell you that these public videos only scratch the surface of the cultural minefield. If you want the full map, the kind of intel I can't share here without getting banned, you need to join my Inner Circle newsletter. It's where I go deep into the family committees and how to handle the sorry gossip. It's free, it's private, and it's the only way to ensure you're always 3 steps ahead. Check the link in the description, but let's get back to the spies who are already watching you. Point number 3 is mastering the sorry intelligence. The fact is, in the Philippines, privacy is a myth. Every neighbor, every kid on a bike, and every old lady sitting at the corner store is an intelligence officer. The hidden reason she might seem hesitant to trust you fully is that she is worried about what the barangay, the local neighborhood, thinks of you. If you only stay inside the bedroom and never interact with the community, you are a stranger, and a stranger is someone to be exploited. Think about the times you've walked through her village feeling like an alien. Your instruction is to engage in social integration. Respect the elders, buy a small snack at the local store, and learn the names of the people on her street. When the barangay respects you as a man of honor, she will trust you by default. She won't dare try to wash you because she knows the whole neighborhood is watching her behavior too. You become part of the village structure, a pillar that is sunk into the very soil she walks on. But here is the most shocking truth of all, the plot twist you didn't see coming. The quickest way to gain her absolute trust is to stop trying to prove you are a good guy. In the West, being a nice guy is a badge of honor. In the Philippines, a man who tries too hard to be nice is immediately a suspect. We assume nice guys have a hidden, perhaps darker agenda because no one is that selfless for nothing. A man who is willing to walk away the moment his respect is violated is the only man a Filipina truly trusts. Why? Because she knows exactly where she stands with him. There are no surprises, no hidden traps. When you show her that you value your dignity more than you value tasting the mango, she realizes you are a man of absolute integrity. You aren't old, you are established, and that is a weapon only a man of your years can carry. If you aren't afraid of being alone, she will be terrified of losing you. Now, I need you to lean in because we've reached the part of the map where most men get hopelessly lost. I'm going to give you the most uncomfortable truth of all, a total glitch in the matrix of how you think attraction works. The quickest way to gain a Filipina's absolute, unwavering trust is to stop trying so hard to prove you are a good guy. I know that sounds insane to your Western ears. You've been told your whole life that being nice and selfless is the path to a woman's heart. But in my culture, a man who is too nice is immediately a suspect. We don't trust the nice guy because we know everyone has a price, and a man who suppresses his own needs just to please a woman usually has a hidden, darker agenda. The truth is cruel, but it is just. A Filipina only truly trusts a man who is willing to walk away the very second his respect is violated. We don't want a fan, we want a leader. If you are so afraid of losing the taco that you tolerate her family emergencies or her disappearing acts, she will never trust you. Why? Because she knows she can manipulate you. And if she can manipulate you, so can the local scammers and the village wolves. A man who cannot say no to a beautiful face is a man who cannot protect a home. When you show her that you value your own dignity more than you value her presence, something magical happens. She stops seeing you as a source of income and starts seeing you as a source of strength. You finally become the pillar. You aren't old, you are established. And that is a weapon only a man of your years can carry. If you aren't afraid of being alone, she will be terrified of losing you. I know I've been tough on you today. I've pulled back the curtain and shown you the shadows, the family committees, and the small crisis traps. It might feel like a lot to take in, and you might even be wondering if it's worth the risk to keep looking. But listen to me, and listen well. I only show you where the mines are buried because I want you to reach the gold safely. The Philippines is still, without a doubt, the most beautiful place on earth for a man of your caliber to find a love that actually feels like home. For every performance I've warned you about, there are 10,000 real Filipinas, loyal, hardworking, and incredibly sweet, who are literally praying for a man just like you. They aren't looking for some immature kid who doesn't know how to treat a lady. They are looking for a haligi, a man with the wisdom, the patience, and the personal standards that only 60 years of life can forge. Your age isn't a defect. It is your greatest asset. It makes you a king in a land where real kings are rare. You have the stability and the life experience that makes you infinitely more attractive than any boy. Now that you know how to spot the tourist traps, you can walk through our islands with your head held high. You aren't a target anymore. You are a man who knows the soil. The right woman, the one who will truly cherish you, is out there. And now you are finally ready to find her. So, I've given you the keys to the kingdom today. Now, I have to ask, have you ever felt that small crisis test? Did you react like a pillar? Or did you reach for your wallet? Tell me your story in the comments below. I read every single one. My mission here is simple: to make this world a little less lonely, and to ensure that good men like you find the companionship they truly deserve. If my words saved you from a headache or a heartache today, consider supporting this channel. A small tip for a bucket of Jollibee chicken or a cold bottle of San Miguel beer goes a long way in my simple life here. It keeps me independent, so I can keep protecting your legacy. Take care of your heart, and never forget, you are the pillar. Ingat, and I'll see you in the next one.